Local 4 News starts now with a forewarned weather alert.
Well, good evening. A dangerous blast of winter weather is gripping Michigan tonight, raising the possibility of school closures tomorrow, and of course, putting drivers and first responders on high alert across the state. Tonight, our top concern is, of course, that dangerous winter weather. Thanks for joining us.
Bitter cold and strong winds have created whiteout conditions in some places, including a situation that caused a 100-car pileup in Ottawa County. This was on I-196 near Zeeland. Several people were injured, and some stranded drivers had to be bused to a nearby high school to get warm.
And of course, the extreme cold is also making firefighters' jobs a lot harder, with water main breaks and frozen hydrants complicating the situation, but of course not stopping emergency responses. They must go on. Milwaukee streets near the Detroit Disposal and Recycling Building flooded and iced over, but thankfully firefighters still managed to get the fire out despite the extreme weather conditions.
Let's get over to forewarned meteorologist Kim Adams for a breakdown of what to expect, how long this lasts, and what it means for your evening commute.
Well, we have several things going on. The first thing I want to focus on is the snow, because we still have a couple of snow squalls, and most are over on the western Great Lakes, the lake effect snow. And part of the reason why you see those big pileups like that, because in a snow squall, as opposed to just a regular area of snow, visibility can be reduced in a matter of seconds to zero. You cannot see in front of you, even a foot in front of you. Right now, we're not seeing that, but I am watching a couple of snow showers move through just to the northwest of Ann Arbor, and we still have some light snow across the area. As we go through the overnight hours, we can't rule out a couple little lake effect snow bands moving over and crossing the area. We also have blowing snow across the roads, so we're not seeing widespread problems, but that doesn't mean that we're completely in the clear. In fact, we've got one little area of, I'd call it light to moderate snow in Auburn Hills over to Rochester. But otherwise, we still have that winter weather advisory in effect until 10 a.m. tonight. We've got temperatures that are in the single digits and wind chills that will be below zero by tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. The wind chill will be 12 below at the airport, 8 below in Mount Clemens and Pontiac. And then it gets even colder for the end of the week. But again, winter weather advisory in effect until 10 a.m. tomorrow. But we also need to talk about Friday morning as superintendents make the decisions whether or not to close school. They also have to take into account that the end of the week could be even colder. So we'll talk about that coming up. If you want to stay up to date on the latest weather forecast in your neighborhood, just download our Forewarned Weather app. It's free, and again, it's tailored specifically for your neighborhood.
Thank you, Kim. A proposal aimed at short-term rentals is stirring up some controversy in Harrison Township.
The plan could ban Airbnb-style rentals in residential neighborhoods, and a new flyer urging residents to stop short-term rentals is fueling the backlash. Now neighbors are taking sides as this debate intensifies. Local 4's Khalil Maycock is live in Harrison Township tonight. And Khalil, you got one of those flyers.
Yeah, this is one of those flyers that was sent to people in the area. It says stop short-term rentals, and it tells people that they are a danger to the neighborhood. One man I spoke to says he was happy to receive this in his mailbox because he just doesn't like them. While one woman says she likes short-term rentals, she's an owner, and she should be able to do whatever she wants with her property.
New Baltimore, October 2025.
Jackie Dankert.
Detroit man died after falling off a dock at an Airbnb property on Lake St. Clair.
Is reading me one of the bullet points off this flyer that was placed in residents of Harrison Township's mailbox earlier this month.
May get him.
The flyer is titled Stop STRs, short-term rentals, also known as Airbnb or Vrbo. It doesn't say who the flyer is from, and Dankert says the messaging is concerning.
Those residents that are not educated on the STRs, on the short-term rentals, may look at that kind of propaganda and rhetoric and think that that is how short-term rentals are, party houses where drugs and violence occur, none of which are true.
Dankert says this flyer is reigniting tension and comes after Harrison Township proposed a zoning ordinance for short-term rentals late last year. This proposal, though tabled, shows it would only be allowed in 4 areas of town: local commercial, general commercial, the village, and village downtown waterfront.
I'm totally against short-term rentals.
Craig William Bardill says he lives near one and adds the renters are not always respectful of residents and takes away what he loves about the area.
It was a little diamond in the rough, and these corporations and our own residents that are buying these and making their homes Airbnbs are destroying our township.
And Dankert says she understands the opposition, but believes short-term rentals shouldn't be banned in certain areas, just regulated, if anything. And I did reach out to the Planning and Zoning Commission Secretary about this story. I'm waiting to hear back. But last week at a Planning Commission, they did mention that a workshop about this topic will be held in February. They did not say a specific date. Reporting live in Harrison Township, Khalil Maycock, Local 4.
Okay, thank you, Khalil.
The trial starts tomorrow for the man accused of killing a Detroit neurosurgeon. Jury selection set to begin in the case against Desmond Burks. Nearly 3 years after Dr. Devin Hoover was found shot to death inside his Boston Edison home in Detroit. Burks now faces multiple felony charges, including first-degree murder, larceny, and firearm offenses tied to the April 2023 killing. We will have live coverage from the courthouse as the trial gets underway.
A Detroit man is now charged with murder in a deadly shooting in Texas. Investigators say he went back to Michigan within hours. 57-year-old Kip Stitz is accused of fatally shooting a woman at a Houston area storage facility in November, then returning to Detroit the next evening. Court records show phone data placed Stitz at the scene and later tracked his trip back to Michigan. Prosecutors say the murder is connected to a drug deal gone wrong and are now seeking a $1 million bond. And from what we can find, he is currently not in custody.
Just 1 month after a dangerous close call, the Dearborn city officials are taking action to keep students safe at the bus stop. In Romulus, a video went viral. This video here showing a student just barely avoiding being hit by a truck. Now, starting tomorrow, automated cameras will be in all Dearborn school buses, catching drivers, hopefully, who ignore those flashing red lights and stop signs. It is a $250 ticket the first time, then it doubles to $500 if it happens again within a year.
From marches to service projects, communities across Metro Detroit are honoring the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today. Local events are bringing people together to reflect, volunteer, and celebrate his message of equality.
With the choir singing at the Henry Ford, an ordinary chair sits, its fabric embedded with history.
This is a chair in which history happened.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. sat in this chair watching President Lyndon B. Johnson deliver his "We Shall Overcome" speech to Congress in 1965, just days after Bloody Sunday in Selma. This chair once belonged to the Jackson family, who were civil rights activists in Selma. Now it's on display for the Martin Luther King holiday, and it's a glimpse of what you will see at the Jackson home opening in June in Greenfield Village.
He becomes human through an object like this. And when you can make a person of history a person, then maybe you can too make a difference like that person.
Across Metro Detroit, people gathered to reflect on the life and legacy of King.
Our America, our freedom.
Michigan United hosted an event on Detroit's west side.
Freedom does not sustain itself on feelings. It sustains itself on formation.
Some braved the cold today for the MLK Day 23rd annual rally in March on Woodward. Back at the Henry Ford, King's spirit filled the room, inspiring people to be a force for good in the world.
You gotta help everybody out and be kind to everybody.
Thousands of people spent the day at the Henry Ford. Admission is free today in honor of the King holiday.
Well, the Pistons riding a surge of winning momentum, and tonight they face one of the NBA's best as the Celtics come to town.
They're the headliner of today's NBA on MLK slate on Local 4. Tip-off is at 8. The buzz is already building inside Little Caesars Arena, and Joel Sebastianelli is live there now. Joel, take it away.
That's one of the fun things about being here so early. You get to feel a building come alive, and you know it will be vibrating come tip-off. The Pistons are not made uncomfortable by any level of noise, by any circumstance. They've got a winning record even when core players are injured. They will be at full strength tonight, not fazed by close games, which is good. All 3 games against Boston have been decided by single digits. And when you think about Pistons basketball, you probably think grit, grind, physicality. Well, these guys also think about joy. There is an infectious energy level that comes with making the opponent uncomfortable. It leads to turnovers. Turnovers lead to points. More points leads to more wins. And that is a cycle that has led to a little smack talk and a lot of smiles along the way.
Competition is the most pure thing about our sport. And when you see guys competing at a level like that, especially, you know, the identity of this team, like they're competing in the toughness areas, in the gritty areas, like that's what we want to be. You know, we feel like that's what represents our fan base best. Like our fans love it. You know, our fans love to see our guys getting after it, being physical, being tough, you know, wearing our opponent down. And so that's why we do it. And that's why our guys embrace it and love it so much, because we do feel that support.
JB Biggerstaff gives his guys freedom to work within a system, and it has led to great results. 30-10, looking for another win with tip-off coming up at 8. We've got a final word from the players coming up in sports. For now, we'll go back to you guys in the studio.
We've got high hopes. It's going to be a great game for sure. Joel, thank you. And because of the basketball games tonight, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy also will not be on Local 4. You can find them both over on MeTV at their regular time slots.